Dear student, welcome to the science class. In the last class, we were discussing about the nutrition in the plants topic. We are discussing about the nutrition in the plant, right? And we completed the nutrition in the plants topic, and we covered almost every concept which is going to come in this nutrition plants. That is nothing but about autotrophs and about heterotrophs, how the plants are going to prepare their own food. Since they are autotroph, we discussed about the autotrophic nutrition as well as we discussed about the heterotrophic nutrition in plants. Right? We discussed about the photosynthesis, from where does they are going to get the raw materials, how those raw materials are transported to the plants, where does the plants are going to prepare their own food, how they are going to prepare their own food, what is the process of that preparing of their own food, that is nothing but the photosynthesis, what are the products which are prepared by the plants while doing the photosynthesis. We discuss those things, as well as we discuss about the other nutrients which are going to take by the plants for the purpose of their nourishment, along apart from the carbohydrates, that is nothing but protein and fat. How are they going to get the proteins? From where does they are going to get the proteins? Because from the nitrogen sources. We discuss those things, as well as we discuss about the different types of the nutrition, different types of the nutrition which is going to take place in case of the plants. Apart from the autotrophic nutrition, that is nothing but heterotrophic nutrition. For those things we discussed about the saprotrophic nutrition, as well as we discussed about the parasitic nutrition. We discussed about what? We discussed about the insectivorous nutrition, as well as we discussed about the symbiosis or symbiotic nutrition in the last class. If you remember that husband-wife example, that is not the case in that case, but for the purpose of understanding those things, which you can take that symbiosis, nothing but it will be going to help one organism in the shelter, another organism is going to get help by the what? Is going to help by the food. So that in the last class we discussed everything, and we also discussed about the replenishment of that soil. That is nothing but how to fulfill the nitrogen requirement by the plants, which is present in the form of nitrogen gas. This is going to be fulfilled by the rhizobia bacteria, which is present at the root tip of a plant. It is going to convert nitrogen into soluble nitrogen form. That is nothing but the nitrate. We discussed everything in the last class. So in today's class we are going to start with the exercise. We are going to start and we are going to solve the exercise questions one by one, and we are going to solve those questions. So the first question is what? First question is nothing but why do organisms take food? Why do organisms take food? Why the purpose? What is the purpose of taking food? If we take the example of animal beings, if we take the example of human being, if we take the example of plant, what is the purpose of intaking of the food? Simply to fulfill the hungerness? No. For doing various activities we require what? Food. For our heart to beat, our brain to do its activity, for legs to movement, for hands to move, in the same manner kidney to properly work. Every other organism, every other organ which is present inside our body needs food. Why it needs food? For the purpose of the energy. For the purpose of the energy. In the same manner, plant, for the growth of the plant, it requires energy. In the same manner, for animal beings, for the doing their daily activities, they require energy. How they are going to fulfill their energy requirement? By taking the food, right? By taking the food. So that food is necessary. Food is necessary. For that reason, animals or organisms are going to take the food for the purpose of the growth, for the purpose of the energy, for the purpose of the protection of their body. So that's the first answer will be right. For doing daily activities, and for the growth and protection of the body, for the protection of the body, for doing the daily activities, as well as for the growth of our body, as well as for the protection of our body, for the proper functioning of body organs, for the proper functioning of for a proper functioning of body organs. If you take an example of brain, if you take the example of heart, if you take the example of kidneys, for the proper functioning of those things, we require energy. For we require energy, so that we can say that energy is required. Energy is required. Energy is required. That is nothing but it is going to have the various nutrients, but for the purpose of energy, for the purpose of the vitamins, minerals, right? We are going to take the food. Energy is required. From where does the energy going to come? Energy comes from the food. Energy comes from the food. Energy comes from the food, so that organisms take food. So that organisms take food. Right? Where required energy for the purpose of doing these activities. Where does the energy is going to come? Energy is going to come from the food. So that because of that we are going to intake the food. In the same manner, if you take the plant, for the growth of the plants, that is nothing but stem, roots, branches or leaves. Those are the body organs of that plant. To grow those things, to protect those things, plant require what? It required energy. From where does it is going to get the energy? It is going to get the energy from the food, which is it is going to prepare. Like in the same manner for animal beings also same thing. So for that reason, organisms take food for the purpose of these things. Right? Now what is the second question next? Second question. Distinguish between the parasite and saprotroph. We have to distinguish between the parasite and a saprotroph. Parasite, and you have to distinguish between saprotroph. If you remember the last class, we were discussing about the parasitic plants as well as we are discussing about the saprotrophic plants. Parasitic plants are nothing but, if you remember, the Cuscuta plant. Cuscuta plant is going to climb on a what? It is going to climb on a post, and it is going to absorb, it is going to suck the nutrients which is going to produce by that plant. Right? So that you can say that parasitic and saprotrophs. First thing that is parasitic and saprotroph both are non-chlorophyll plants. It is also don't have the chlorophyll, it is also don't have the chlorophyll. They are right. They are not going to prepare their own food, it is also not going to prepare their own food. These are the similarities. If you have to differentiate between those things, it is what? It is dependent on a different organism. It is dependent on a different plant. It depends on the different plant or different organism. It depends on the host for the purpose of the nutrients. And these are the dependent on the dead decay matter. They are dependent on the dead decay matter. So these are dependent on the what? They are dependent on the other beings, other plant or other organisms. They are dependent on the other plants for the purpose of they dependent on the other plants for the purpose of food and shelter. That is nothing but they are dependent on the other plant. That is nothing but host for the purpose of the food as well as for the purpose of the shelter. These plants are going to grow on the host plant as well as they are going to suck the nutrients which are present on those plants. Right? So that example for this is Cuscuta plant. Cuscuta plant as well as another plant is orchid plant. Orchids also the example for the parasitic plants. That is nothing but they are going to dependent on the other plants or other organisms for the purpose of their food as well as for the purpose of the shelter. So this is the example for the parasitic. In the same way, saprotrophs. What are the saprotrophs? Saprotrophs are nothing but they are dependent on the dead decay matter for the purpose of the food. They dependent on the they dependent on the get decay matter for the purpose of the food. Get decay matter for the purpose of the food. Purpose of the food. Right? They are going to take the nutrients from the dead decay matter. For that reason, they are known as saprotroph. The same as photosynthesis are nothing but they are dependent on the other living beings, that is nothing but other plant, for the purpose of the shelter as well as for the purpose of the what food. So that example for these are orchids as well as Cuscota. In this case, examples are bread mold, it is an example for the saprotroph. If you remember the previous class, other examples are for the saprotrophs are nothing but bread mold and fungus. You can see that fungus, which is also an example for the saprotroph. Right, so that these are the two examples. Next question, which is the answer for the second question. If you ask the right similarities between the saprotroph as well as parasites, the similarities between those things will be they are non-chlorophyll plants. Because of this, they are not going to prepare their own food. For that reason, they are going to depend on the different beings, different living organisms. Right? These are the answers for the second question. Now, question number 3, main question number 3. That is nothing but how do you test for the presence of the starch in leaf? How we are going to presence of the starch in the leaf? So that we are going to discuss that question now. Now next third question is main question number 3. That is nothing but give it. How would you test for the presence of the starch? How would you test for the presence of the starch? Test for the presence of the starch. That is nothing but if you remember that every carbohydrate which is present in human being as well as in the present plants, it is in the form of the starch. That is nothing but plants are going to store their carbohydrates in the form of the starch. The end product of this carbohydrate will be the starch, or the of that photosynthesis will be the starch. So that we have to check the presence of the starch. If you remember that test for the starch is nothing but it is iodine test. If you remember, test for the starch is nothing but iodine test. We are going to use the iodine solution for the purpose of the testing for the starch. So then for doing those things, what we have to do? We have to do an activity so that for the presence of the starch we should check. So that for those things, we are going to take 2 potted plants. We are going to take 2 potted plants. Those are healthy. We are going to take 2 potted plants. Those are healthy. This is pot 1. This is the pot, second pot. Right. This is the pot A. This will be the pot 2. In these 2 pots, we are going to keep the healthy plants. That is, they have the green leaves and they are growing very rapidly. So that these 2 plants we are going to take and we are going to keep one plant, one potted plant in sunlight, one potted plant in sunlight, another potted plant at the dark in the room, in the dark room. First potted plant we are going to keep it in sunlight, presence of sunlight. Second potted plant we are going to keep it in where we are going to keep it in a dark room. So then first checking of the photosynthesis, so that there will be production of the starch. We are going to keep this thing for 2 to 3 days. At least 2 to 3 days we are going to keep these things. We are going to keep this for 2 to 3 days outside and this pot in the inside for 2 to 3 days. After completing 2 to 3 days, we are going to take each leaf, one leaf from this plant as well as this plant. We check the observation. We will check for the observation by taking the leaves of each plant. That is nothing but pot 1 plant, pot plant leaf and spot 2 plant leaf. When we check and we add the iodine solution on that, when we add the iodine solution on that leaf, right? When we add the iodine solution, when we add the iodine solution on that leaves, both the leaves, if there is a color changes in the one of the leaves, it happens, then we can say that we can interfere that there is the presence of the starch. So that when we add the iodine solution into the part 1 leaf, that the color changes. Color changes. Here the color changes to black blue color. Here the color changes to the black blue color. But in case of days, there is no color change. There is no color change. That means here is the presence of the starch. Here is the presence of the starch. Here there will be no presence of the starch. Here there will be no presence of the starch. There will be no presence of the starch. By this doing this activity, we can check the presence of the starch and non-presence of the starch by taking the iodine solution, that is nothing but iodine test. When we add the iodine solution onto the layers which is taken from the pot 1 and pot 2, pot 1 is going to show the change in the color to the black blue color. Pot 2 is not going to show the change in the color change, so that we can say that the presence of the starch will be there in the first pot and presence of the starch will be not there in the second pot. In this way we are going to check for the starch by doing an activity. So that in this activity we taken the 2 healthy plants which are high in chlorophyll, that is nothing but they are in greenish color, and we are going to keep one pot outside in presence of sunlight. In the second pot we are going to keep it inside in absence of the sunlight. Right, we are going to keep the one outside, another inside. Why? Because at outside in presence of sunlight they are going to produce the glucose, that is nothing but they are going to do the photosynthesis. But in the pot 2 case there is no presence of the sunlight, that means they are not going to produce the photosynthesis products. After keeping 2 to 3 days, we are going to pluck out the leaves present on these plants. On those leaves we are going to add the iodine solution. And when I add the iodine solution on the first plant, it is going to change. It is going to show the color change from green to the black blue color. But in case of pot 2 leaf, it is not going to show the change in the color. That is nothing but there will be no changes in the color. So there, by observing these things, we can say that presence of the starch in the pot 1 plant and absence of the starch in the pot 2 plant. In this way, we are going to check the presence of the starch by using the iodine test. In the same manner, if anybody asks, it is extra information. If anybody asks to check the presence of the carbohydrate in your food data, simply we have to add the iodine solution on that food data. If the color changes to blue color, then we can say that the presence of the carbohydrate. If the color changes to the blue color, we can say that there is the absence of the what? There is the absence of the starch. In this way, we can conclude these things. Up to this point, 3 questions are over. In the next class, we are going to discuss further about those questions. That is nothing but give a brief description of the process of the synthesis of the food in green plants. It is already discussed. Try to give a brief discussion on those things. I am going to discuss those things in the next class. Up to that point, thank you, take care, stay well, stay home.